Coming up on the marketplace, small-scale miners in the Ashanti region threatened to sue the government over the burning of the excavators at mining sites.
Action. We are in preparation to institute an action for an interpretation of the Constitution.
Also, Ghana emerges most attractive market in sub-Saharan Africa for investors in the power sector. Despite recent power fluctuation and the rising energy debt, we have more from the Fitch Solutions Power Risk and Reward Index. Plus, new tax affixing machines installed at the Tema Tax Affixing Office at the Doyle Business Expose on the congestion there. Stay with us for details on this. Hello, welcome to the program. I'm Charles Aite. Now, small-scale miners in the Ashanti region have threatened to sue the government over what they call as the burning of excavators belonging to them at the various mining sites. Here's a report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
Line of action. We are in preparation to institute an action for an interpretation of the Constitution at the highest court of the land to find out if a minister has the right to issue a directive for a private person's equipment to be destroyed without just cause. If the law allows that, we are in line to do that. And
former Ashanti Region Secretary of the Miners, Philip Bawa, also says the miners will petition Parliament to intervene.
And also, we will take measures to place an injunction against these activities if an action is not taken immediately to remedy the situation. So we are considering that. And also, we will be filing a petition before Parliament to intervene in the illegalities and arbitrariness that is going on in the country. Because you cannot unleash your military against your citizens for no just cause, because this is against a UN convention.
The small-scale miners allege there is selective justice in the fight against illegal mining and destruction of natural resources.
Because if he's protecting some people in the community, while we, the legitimate, are suffering, he knows the consequences. The consequences, any selective justice, there is consequences in selective justice. Why our chairman in Asin Fosu, who is mining legally, on his concession, they have destroyed 4 excavators on that land, including other mining equipment. So what are we doing as Ghanaians? The government is pushing too hard, but we are pleading. Ghana, our culture doesn't permit us to do certain things, but he should stop pushing us.
So red zones need be say water bodies, any forest reserve. If you are saying, I'm military, I'm going to say the media. Excavators if you are near Shino. A dear beer. You drink one and just yet. You know, say, your man buying and penny 40 cents. San Yaman, I was 1 year. Yes, Trano. Yes, Trana Omunjai.
The association insists members are legally authorized and contends their operation do not violate mining law, neither are they destroying water bodies and the environment. They want the government to find better ways of addressing the situation than using them as scapegoats.
To come out and explain to us the difference between the red zones and the other areas, because we Amanse West here, we have some areas, especially we have reserve forest areas that our Chinese people are working. Their machines are not burned, but someone has packed his machine in the house. They will come and burn the machine. Why?
So it is the Minerals Commission who can come to our site, inspect. If we are not complying with the rules and regulations governing the license, they can revoke it or caution us as to rectify the anomalies, not the military. Dominic Nitwo, the Honorable Minister for Defense, is speaking outside his jurisdiction and acting same. We want to go by the Minister of the Sector's statement that small-scale miners, legal ones, should mine, but mine responsibly. and that only Minerals Commission can inspect our site, no other task force, including the military.
The association intends to go back to their respective mining sites as they seek legal redress. A report by Mohammed Nuruddin.
Now, Ghana is the most attractive market in sub-Saharan Africa for investors in power sector. Despite recent power fluctuations and a rising energy debt, Ghana is the most attractive market in this particular region. That's according to the Fitch Solutions Power Risk and Reward Index, of which Charles Nixon Yeboah brings us more.
This is coming at a time whereby the nation is grappling with power fluctuation, whilst its energy sector debt has gone past $5 billion. According to the research arm of ratings agency Fitch, the country's score of about 85%, which places it first in sub-Saharan Africa, signify low levels of risk private investors face whilst entering the market. This also points to a secure return on investment for private sector players. Additionally, the population has affordable electricity, whereas there is continued growth in sustainable power sector development. Importantly, the electricity penetration rate in the country is estimated at about 84%, positioning it as #1 in West Africa. Fitch Solutions expect markets such as Ghana, where governments prioritize cooperation with the private sector through measures such as public-private partnerships, to see the highest level of investment in sustainable electricity generation sources such as non-hydropower renewables over the coming decade. Kenya is ranked second behind Ghana, whilst Cameroon, South Africa, Namibia, and Uganda follow suit in third, fourth, fifth, and sixth respectively as other markets attractive to investors in the power sector in the sub-Saharan Africa region.
Well, let's stay on this story furthermore as we pull up a particular graphic that helps us understand the remit of Fitch reports regarding investors eyeing Ghana's power sector amid challenges. And we have 4 pointers there, being the first being Ghana's score of about 85% signify low levels of risk private investors face whilst entering the market. Also in Ghana, government prioritize cooperation with the private sector through PPPs to set highest level of investment. Also, Kenya is ranked second behind Ghana, quite a feat there. When we're coming down to the countries, we recognize that Cameroon, South Africa, and Namibia place third, fourth, and fifth, respectively, along these lines. We shall have a discussion on this in our subsequent bulletins. But in the meantime, academia meets industry as delegation from the KNUST paid a courtesy call on the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. Let's listen into the provost of KNUST who led the delegation from KNUST.
And then we talk about the internship for students, if we can formalize it so that every year we know that, when we go to this industry, Chamber of Commerce and Industry, they will definitely give us maybe 30 places for our students to have internship. And so that is where we thought we could establish some long-term relationship. The President made a point that it is long overdue. I believe if we had some standing cooperation and we had not visited, President would have probably called and said, why have we not met? Why have we not discussed anything over the past year? And so, with your permission or acceptance of our mission, maybe we would like to have some form of memorandum of understanding. And then that will actually feed into the last point, where you could cooperate in so many areas. Again, I was happy when Mr. President said, research, that is what we do. And as you rightly pointed out, our students have been doing research, we don't know. Maybe they are not even necessary, because we do not knock on your doors to tell us areas where you wish students, especially postgraduate students, undertake research to fix some certain problems, to solve problems.
I'm happy you are talking about also skewing the courses to the needs of the industry. Some courses, I don't even have names to mention them, for the developed world, for which there are no jobs in Ghana here. And as much as we are trying to put in place very good human capital base together with enhancing our industrialization drive in the continent to take advantage of AfCFTA. I think that we would have to look at what AfCFTA brings to us in terms of export, etc. And so that courses that will be very relevant for our needs at this time, we'll look at it. And I'm happy we are going to also monitor whatever we put together going forward so that we'll be able to identify areas that when we set our KPIs, we are not doing well, to come back and look at it and move forward.
Well, thankfully, we have the president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Clement Osei-Amoako, join us via Zoom for more on this. Mr. Amoako, we're so grateful that you joined us on the marketplace. First of all, what exactly informed this whole intended partnership between academia and industry?
Thank you so much to your listeners. The Chamber, ever since we took over, we are trying to find out the gap between academia and the industry. And that is key to our survivorship. And so we have made efforts with a lot of universities. We started with KIVAS, and yesterday we had a meeting with KNUST to look at the kind of refined labor that they can give to us as industry practitioners to employ them. And that will be useful for our future. And so we realize that there's a gap to produce. Hypothetically, if you are looking at somebody who's making going to produce goods and services to the market, we'll have to look at the needs of the market. You don't just produce and throw them into the market. If it is not relevant for the market use, they'll be moving around. And that is why we are creating huge unemployment. We want to look at the gap. What do we need? And you are the people preparing them for us, the labor suppliers, and then we are the demand for labor. What do we need so that we can have an equilibrium to know what really each and everyone needs so that you supply us, and then we will use them very well for our industrialization drive.
You talked about the skills gap, between the universities and that of the industry. But how does this inform, huge players like the Chamber of Commerce and Industry balancing this inefficiency?
Yes, it also, what we are saying is that the gap could be filled by a way of we involving ourselves in some of the things that they do. When we are looking at a situation where we can have even a tripartite committee between Ministry of Education, Labor, ourselves, and probably with the university, that is university represented by the Ministry of Education, so that we can look at the gap. We would tell them what we need. There are some skills that still we need it in this country that we have to export labor from outside our domain, which is not good. So we want the academia to restructure their courses to suit what really we need so that we can employ them. Those that we don't have the capacity to employ within that, we also have to employ from outside. It's a cost to us as industry and for that matter, the country. So we want them to skill their courses to meet our needs. And so we'll have constant meeting with them by signing an MOU, and then we follow up with the MOU to look at the cost structures that need to be defined for our use so that we have a better Ghana to live in.
During the meeting with the KNUST yesterday, also was the concern about, if possible, they could come up with this benchmark indices for industry so that you guys could, benchmark your standards based on informed research from academia. Help us understand more on this.
Yeah, based upon the benchmark that we are talking about, what we want to know is that most of the data that they pick from the industries, they keep it for themselves. But we are saying that, look, let us know what the industry benchmarks are, and so that we can work alongside with it. So can we do it together with the students? They'll be part of it, and then we are also part of it, so that we put in those indexes that will be useful for our consumption, and then we can look at it together.
So moving on to the future, how do you see the world of work from the perspective of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry in the future, especially when we're now having the Continental Free Trade Agreement Secretariat here in Accra?
The world of work is changing, and we are just asking the universities to be more futuristic. We could see that the whole world is changing towards IT direction. And into the future, some of the courses must be made in such a way that we look at those areas and to prepare ourselves into the future. We are a developing country, and so we must be focused into the future. We're looking at also the maritime industry, where we don't even have lawyers enough to sometimes face issues that confronts us as business entity. And with our discussion with them, I think that we are going to look at those areas to fix them so that we have a better Ghana to live in. Thank you.
Clement Marco, we're so grateful that you joined us on The Marketplace. He is president of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry. You're still watching The Marketplace. We're taking a short break. We're right back to stay. You're welcome back. Worried with software for your company? Well, Ghanaian develops framework for digital transformation of businesses across board. In fact, the dawn of COVID-19 has reaffirmed the need to utilize the digital space for effective business activity. However, looking at the right software can be a headache, as a wrong tool can be highly a disservice. Fortunately, a Ghanaian management information systems consultant, Samuel Enimiboa, has developed a framework to digitally transform businesses. Kwesi Deborah has more.
The effects of particularly COVID-19 have compelled businesses to consider digital tools to allow for remote management. However, an informed selection of particular software or digital tools and processes may be a liability. As part of his PhD thesis in information systems at the University of Ghana, Mr. Enimiboa set out to design a model that helps transform organizations and businesses. The Drivers, Processes, Capabilities Impacts DPCI framework is designed for entrepreneurs, managers, and business practitioners to help in the digital transformation of organizations. The DPCI framework can help policymakers make and implement policies that will support pursuit of particular drivers to achieve desired policy impact.
People just go for systems without thinking about the implications. People go for systems and think that once you bring in a digital system into your business, everything goes well, without thinking about what they want to achieve, without thinking about what they need to pursue, without thinking about the specific processes that need to be optimized, or even what resources they have and what resources they will need, competencies they have and the competencies they will need. They don't think about all those things. So this framework is a framework that is guiding you to achieve your intended and desired outcomes for your business by helping you to look at the specific drivers or the specific motivations that you need to pursue. And then, if I am pursuing these motivations, what corresponding processes should be optimized, to be emphasized, to make sure I'm able to achieve those objectives? And then within those processes, what competencies do I have and need? What resources do I have and what resources do I need? And those are the capability and capacity that I spoke about, which will help you achieve that aim.
Already, 3 businesses have been utilizing this tool to transform digitally.
One is an importer of lubricants. One is a manufacturer of food products. And one is a distributor of beverages. We've tried these processes with them. We've tried this implementation approach with them, and they were very successful. The time of implementation were shortened. We had between 1 month and 3 months of implementation. Things that would have taken us 6 months, 1 year, we were able to shorten it to just about between 1 and 3 months for all 3 companies. The future is that as we move on and accept and inculcate with digital technology, we need to know how to go about it. What should drive you for specific purpose? We are not in a one-size-fits-all situation. That's why we need to evaluate each targeted transformation and see what are the needs, what should drive us, what processes should I emphasize, and what impacts will I get if I introduce this capability and introduce that capacity.
Reporting for Joy News, Kwesi Deborah.
A few weeks ago, I brought you a report on congestion at the Tema tax stamp office, where importers of beverage products say the tax stamp affixing station at Tema is still inefficient, costing them demurrage and losses running into the thousands of cedis. Well, we have an update on that from the Food and Beverage Association, but let's first play back excerpts of that report. Looking at what is happening now.
Well, initially, we have requested for digital stamping. If you look at it, digital stamping for industry, which is much more easier, and then the importers will go on affixing the stamp. We thought perhaps by now the facilities will be expanded and therefore there wouldn't be any delays. But you can see the way it is now. And the same facility that we are using, some of them maybe they might have a hitch here and there. And then also
Well, that was an interaction there with the Executive Secretary of the Food and Beverage Association, Samuel Agri. He joins us via Zoom. We're so grateful that you joined us. First of all, we have seen some updates so far from your end. What exactly are we learning?
But let me say there's been some improvement in the last reportage. Just a few weeks ago, or let me say very 2 weeks ago, we paid a visit to the facility and realized that more hands has been deployed to ensure that they work day and night to take away the stress and also to ensure that customers get their goods on time. But be as it may, you realize that the condition as it is over there will not rather solve the problem for now. But then we are making a headway. And fortunately for us, they said they are putting up a new facility, which we paid a visit to it, and it's about 75% complete. And we expect that by the end of the month, which is the timeline given, this facility will be up and running to ensure that we have a further cut in the stamp wasting at the facility.
So what exactly are members of the Food and Beverage Association telling you regarding the improvement on developments there?
Well, there are still challenges that they would have wished that we have a one-time solution to it. But as it is, certainly the problems will be there, the challenges will come, but then perhaps working together, we might find time to resolve the issues as they appear. But since the first reportage, we have met GRA and then also De La Rue to iron out some of the challenges that there were. But going forward, De La Rue has been able to at least improve the quality of the stamps, which is given to the facility to affect. But unfortunately, what we are facing is the time delivery with the members, or let me say with industry. It's still not the 48 or the 24 hours delivery as it's supposed to be. But we are hoping that they will improve on their time and then we move forward with the facility. But fortunately, we have also the digital stamping, which we have been proposing for a long time. And the commissioner made us aware that they are going to go ahead and engage stakeholders direct. And therefore, in future, it's something that we need to be working with. And then we hope that this will work with. But let me say that the time given at the end of the month, we'll be able to get the facility running. Perhaps we may say maybe 6 weeks will be the time that this facility will come on. That is, I'm talking about the new affixing facility, which is bigger than what they used to have now. So we hope that they will come on board. But as for customers complaining, the complaints will be there because everybody wants the facility to run and ensure that they get whatever they want on time. Unfortunately, if you look at what they are delivering to us, some of them are complaining about the way the products are being presented to them. But I think we need to discuss with the GRA and then also those affecting the stamp to find a solution to that problem, because this is a challenging issue that we need to address as time goes on.
Great, but of course we are somewhat relieved. But the fact that some improvement has been, instilled on this particular development. Mr. Agui, we're so grateful that he joined us. He's the Executive Secretary of the Food and Beverage Association on matters the tax affixing machine, the end at Tema. We shall be keeping an eye on this to give you updates as and when, especially when this matters so much to a bulk of Ghana's importers community. Well, that's how we end this edition of The Marketplace. My name is Charles Aite. For more news, do log on to myjoyonline.com. Enjoy the rest of our bulletins. Have a good afternoon.